My name is Joyce Salazar. I've been a resident of Southeast Colorado Springs for over 3 decades. We are a multi-generational family. I graduated from Harrison High School in 1982. My children also went to Sierra High School, and I have grandchildren at Terman Elementary and Sierra High School this year. I was a community member that lived in Southeast. However, I lived life outside of Southeast, meaning that I would go outside of my community to shop for food, to shop for clothing, to buy furniture and appliances, for entertainment, for everything else. My house was here in Southeast, however, I lived life outside of the community. I also am the Community Outreach Coordinator for the RISE Coalition. The mission of the RISE Coalition is to enhance Southeast Colorado Springs through resident-led change. So that means the community sets the priorities, and these organizations come alongside to really make things happen, to better our health, our community, our economy.
Our economy is really built on the goods and services that we create, we produce, that we trade. It really influences health because it creates opportunities for jobs, and a job really opens up your opportunities for healthcare and to choose your type of housing situation, the opportunities to build wealth, improve your life and your quality of life for your family. In the 1980s, Southeast was really the happening place for retail and for restaurants, and developments were really coming up everywhere. And if you think of the South Academy Boulevard corridor from Maysland Road down to Milton Proby Parkway, and a mile east and a mile west of that, in the 1980s, over half of the city's sales tax revenue was being generated from that area, which is really quite incredible. And in the 90s, that really started to slow quite drastically when the development started to move north and east to along Powers Boulevard. And by the turn of the century, it was really common to see at least 25% vacancy in buildings along Academy. So it hasn't always been that way, but the disinvestment has been over several years as the city has grown north and east, and Southeast continues to be skipped over for that investment. Part of my role coming into the city was to really reach out and help bridge the gap between the city and our residents in the community, particularly in Southeast. Where does the community, our Southeast residents, want to see economic development and economic vitality, and what are the highest priorities? The city's got a number of infrastructure projects. Planning process for any type of development typically involves the community, and so ensuring that residents know where to find that information is really important.
Thrive is kind of my love child. It was a passion project that came from us just interviewing several hundred families and getting feedback that we needed to go beyond back to school drives and food pantries and job fairs, that we needed to actually solve some issues. The issue that we chose to tackle was income inequality, and just making sure that people in the community had access to the same education, the same materials that everyone else does. And so the Thrive program really is sort of a condensed ghetto MBA. If you graduate my class, you can build a business. And you can build multiple businesses. It's the techniques that we teach, us the principles. And the idea is that all of us, no matter where you're from, no matter what your background is, your education level, we all have creative problem-solving potential. And the program's designed to help you develop that, because that's all entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is finding a problem, presenting a creative solution, and getting paid for it. That's it. And to basically revitalize neighborhoods from the inside out versus them just being gentrified and people being forced out. So we've been able to help start over 43 businesses. help accelerate some small businesses that were in year 1 or 2. This is one of them. One of the first businesses we actually helped start. We could prove that if you invest in communities and if you invest in people and if you build them up and if you give them the tools to make their own pathway, not everybody will do it, but lots of people will.
My business, the Venus Collective, is a community of women. It's a safe space for women to come, reconnect with their bodies, care for themselves. And in the process of loving yourself and caring for yourself, you have really life-changing orgasms in the process. That just happens. So, but really it's about sisterhood and it's about movement and yeah, health. Like, I think this is an aspect of health that people don't often like to talk about. Most people, when they go to a yoga studio, they get vinyasa or power or this really up and down linear kind of yoga. There's a different branch of yoga. There's a whole world called Tantra, and it's all about these circular movements. It's the same thing. You're just learning a different, like yoga's cousin. The cousin that maybe people don't talk about that much because again, sex is like a risque topic. Like even me talking about it now, it's kind of like, yeah. It's liberation work. That's what really draws me to yoga, especially being a Black woman. I learned that yoga is a system for liberation. And I feel like if you can be free in your body, then like you're free in the world, like you're free in life. The entrepreneurial spirit, I got that from my father. My dad really embedded that in me in a lot of ways. He told me once that a job stands for J-O-B, just over broke. That you'll never be able to really get ahead or excel working for someone else and building their dream. You gotta find your dream and you gotta build it. I was always inspired by my dad. Like he always was the man with the plan. He had a dream and a scheme. I used to say that when I was a kid and I loved it because he had ideas and he would execute them and I was just inspired by him. So when I was really young, like that's always been in me. Like I was scribbling newspapers before I even knew how to write my ABCs. I would just scribble and then go door to door and then sell them to my neighbors. And you know, all my neighbors all knew me and loved me. So they give me money, like a quarter or something, you know, and it was cool. Like for me, like it's always been about entrepreneurship.
We started from Lake Charles, Louisiana. We decided that we wanted to go in business for ourselves. The dream came about when, you know, I went offshore. I went to culinary art school. Where we from, the culture itself, we just love cooking. And we decided, well, damn, we can't go nowhere and get no good food. You know, my wife said I was a cook, and she said, well, we just need to take it to a different level. And we started off by selling one plate. You know, soul food is just in our genes, and we love it so much. So now we got the food truck, and business has been good.
Our main resource that got us going was when we got with Solid Rock with Pastor Ben, where they were holding classes for small business. So we got into that, and from there is where we started. And before we got this food truck, we were working out of the back of our car, delivering food to businesses and catering and wishing and praying at the same time for a food truck. My teacher, Miss Cory, she is amazing. She is the lady who brought all of this to life.
Thumbs up.
All of this. If it was not for her, I would still be delivering out of the back of my car. She was 100. She was mad at me sometime. She didn't care, but you're gonna get it. You know, that's how she was. And if it wouldn't be for her, we wouldn't have this at all. Colorado Enterprise Fund, they did this for us.
I'm Cory Arcarese. I am a lending officer with Colorado Enterprise Fund and a senior business consultant with the Small Business Development Center. The advice I have for anyone who aspires to start a business, definitely seek the help of some business consulting. Make sure that you have all your ducks in a row. Write a business plan. Have your projections ready. And projections mean that you outline how much money is this business going to bring you, because you have bills to pay. And that means that, will this business bring in enough money to be able to sustain you financially? The Transforming Safety Business Loan is administered through the Colorado Enterprise Fund and is for anyone, any business owner who is in Southeast Colorado Springs who needs a loan, and they would inquire by going to the Colorado Enterprise Fund and filling out a loan inquiring form. That form comes to me and I would then pick up the phone and give you a call, and we can have a chat about what it is that you're trying to do. There's great programs, especially in the Southeast, that want to help you. We want businesses to grow and thrive.
They got some important people out there.
Important people out there.
And when we left, we didn't even think them people was gonna have our back. But Mr. Holmesy, family, friends in Beauport, Louisiana, we love y'all. And we ain't gonna leave y'all out of nothing.